How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we actually have some really big news about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Last night, a leaked set photo came out showing Bucky and Falcon teaming with an unexpected villain. Now, this photo was immediately removed from the Instagram page that it was originally posted on, and then it was removed from Twitter accounts and other Instagram accounts as well. So clearly, Marvel did not want this photo getting out. And they were right to do so because it contains a pretty decent sized spoiler in it. And it also seemingly confirms a plot leak that we got not too long ago that says we're going to see the mutant Omega Red. So I'll break down this photo and talk about this plot leak and what it means for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier in this video. But first, big congratulations to YouTube user Major Gaming for being the winner of last week's Loki Funko Pop. Email me in the email in my description and I'll get you your prize. And for this week, we're giving away an Iron Spider Funko Pop. All you got to do to enter is subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, this photo has been taken down on all of the platforms that it was posted so far. So unfortunately, I can't show it due to copyright reasons, but I did see it and I can describe what I saw. But if you are trying to avoid any and all spoilers for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you should click away now. If you're still with me, the photo that we saw was of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bucky and Sam teaming up with Baron Zemo. Now, in this photo, it is very clear that they were on the same side, fighting other people. In the photo, they are literally standing side by side while facing the people that they are fighting, or about to fight. Now, it was just one photo that was shared, but again, it's very obvious what is going on here, but what this really tells us is that a leaked episode description that we once heard for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier could be very real now. Originally, it did sound very legitimate, and now this leaked photo does confirm one of the things that the leak said was going to happen. The leaked episode description actually talked about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier teaming up with Baron Zemo. So let's go over this episode description and talk about what else it said. This was the description for the leaked episode. Sam isn't allowed to be Cap because of the events of Civil War, but trusts U.S. Agent to take over the mantle. U.S. Agent genuinely wants to do a good job and doesn't realize he's part of a bigger plan. Sam and Bucky have to work with Zemo to track down a crime syndicate called the Alchemists. Zemo is essentially their hostage, but he has vital information. So the leaked photo that went out last night and then was taken down showed Bucky and Sam with Zemo confirming this scene. And as it continues, it says, they go to Madripoor with him, and there they meet Batroc the Leaper and Omega Red. It goes on to say, overall, the show feels a lot like Winter Soldier and the Mission Impossible movies. Agent 13 and Bucky seem to have a romance, very flirty vibes. Sam judges Bucky for it, and Bucky says Steve dated her like 70 years ago. He also said that William Hurt, aka Thunderbolt Ross, is in the show as well and seemed to reference Black Widow. So a pretty big part of this episode description has already been confirmed to be true by this leaked photo. So there's a very high chance that the rest of this leak could be a true leak of this episode. And if it is, the very last line of what this person said who saw this episode apparently is very important. The last line says, Zemo escapes from them in a speedboat to end the episode. Which of course I guess everybody could see coming. So if this is true, Zemo will work with Bucky and Sam, but only temporarily. After all, this is the guy that really tried to get the Avengers to kill each other, so it's not really that big of a surprise. Now there's actually another confirmation to this episode leak, and that is Batroc the Leaper. Batroc the Leaper was in Captain America Winter Soldier, but this leak says that he's coming back, and in some recent leaked photos we do in fact see Batroc the Leaper. So two things basically confirming that this episode plot leak is in fact legitimate, which means that the mutant Omega Red will appear in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Mutants will be coming to the MCU in Phase 4. Now Omega Red is a pretty intense mutant villain, and he has the typical powers that a normal super person would have: superhuman strength, ability, speed, etc. But he also has a healing factor like Wolverine, and he can produce pheromones that are actually poison. And not to mention the carbonadium retractable tentacles that he has in each of his arms. But the most important thing that we need to know about Omega Red is that he is heavily connected to Russia and the Red Room. Now we've heard and we all assume that Black Widow has to come out before the Falcon and and the Winter Soldier come out. And of course that is because it said that Black Widow has some plot details that will affect and go on to lead into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And Omega Red could be that connection. We know Black Widow is basically going to be all about the Red Room. And considering Omega Red's connection to it and the fact that he's going to be in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think we found it. So in one way or another, concerning Russia and the Red Room, Omega Red is going to be that connection. And it looks like Sam and Bucky are definitely going to have their hands full with him. Another thing that we can probably assume is going on here is the setup of the Thunderbolts. The episode leak says that US Agent genuinely wants to do a good job. He wants to be a good Captain America. But it does say that he's part of a bigger plan. And we also have heard that Thunderbolt Ross is going to be in the show as well. Now this is also another connection to Black Widow, as we know that Thunderbolt Ross will be in Black Widow as well. In fact, we've seen him in the trailers. And we know that Thunderbolt Ross really wants some super soldier serum. That's his thing in the comics, and that's been his thing since the Incredible Hulk. Now we know that he's been experimenting with some super soldier serum, and we know that the Black Widows in the Red Room are actually given a type of super soldier serum as well, but at the same time it's actually a mind control device. And rumors have said that US Agent John Walker is going to receive this same super soldier serum. So even though he wants to do good, unfortunately he's most likely going to be controlled by Thunderbolt Ross, and that puts him as part of this so-called bigger plan that the episode leak talks about. Now what Thunderbolt Ross is most likely doing is setting up and recruiting the Thunderbolts, with Baron Zemo probably being one of them. If Sam isn't allowed to be the new Captain America due to what happened during Civil War, and then he goes on with Bucky, another war criminal, to start doing investigations of their own, that's definitely not going to sit very well with Thunderbolt Ross, and he's definitely going to want to stop them, and him being kind of a diabolical person, who better would he send to stop them than Baron Zemo, the person who basically had somewhat of a control over Bucky at one point in time. So as Sam and Bucky have to work with Baron Zemo, there's no doubt that Ross already talked to him. And the fact that Baron Zemo escapes in a speedboat at the end was probably planned as well. But Thunderbolt Ross doesn't like people getting their own way. He likes everything to go exactly as he planned. And Zemo is still a criminal, and Ross just isn't going to let him go.
Spend all that time, all that effort, and to see it fail so spectacularly. Did it?
Instead, he's going to recruit him for the Thunderbolts. That way, he can control Baron Zemo and use him to do his work for him. We also assume that Yelena Belova from Black Widow is going to be joining the Thunderbolts as well. Possibly Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2 and Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and let's not forget Thunderbolt Ross himself as Red Hulk. This would be a pretty awesome Thunderbolts team, one that I personally wouldn't mind seeing in the MCU and connecting to Black Widow, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and other movies and shows as well. So it looks like this episode description is legitimate, and we're going to be getting Omega Red in Phase 4, a mutant in Phase 4. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. And let me know what you think about the Thunderbolts and this leaked episode description as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. Don't forget to give the video a like, and for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.